If you want to be more competitive, you need to include your key collaboration partners, otherwise you are just sub-optimizing. Because bringing products more efficiently to market is also depending on your key collaboration partner. Collaboration is not only about sharing data, but also about streamlining processes and collaboration within these processes. It is important that security is thought into both what data should be shared, who is allowed to see it, who is allowed to edit it, etc. And the same for processes. Should the partner be allowed to start a change process or only participate in one? Having a platform that can support different scenarios and have advanced, easily configured security capabilities will be needed. An essential part of PLM is to be able to collaborate with external partners like design partners, manufacturing partners, and so on. So in this video, we will take a look at how we, through Minerva PLM, easily can collaborate with external partners to share data, to collaborate on processes like engineering change request and engineering change order. The first thing I will do is that I will log into my system as an external user. I have created this user called EXT, which is my external. So I will log into the system. Through my navigation pane, I will go to parts and search to see if this user can see any parts. So I click search and we can see that it gives zero results. So this user is not able to see any data that I have inside of my PLM system. Next thing I do is that now I log in as the internal user into the system. I again go to parts and now I want to find the data that I want to share with this external user. In this case, I would like to share my PB560 ventilator data. So I right click on it and I go in and I click Create Special Permission Set. This will bring out this dialog where the system asks me, so what do we actually want to share? Do we want to share the bill of material, the manufacturer parts, documents, etc.? I am going to select everything, and now the actual permission set is being created automatically for me. So I go in here and I can see that this permission set has drawn in every piece of data related to this ventilator. It has parts, it has documents, it has manufacturer parts, it has all of this inside of this permission set. Next is for me to actually decide who should be able to see this. So I go to given permission, I click the edit button, and now I can select who should actually be able to see this. So I'm going to select my external user, give access to read and write, and now I save it. So basically, now I am ready with this permission set. The external user can still not see it because this permission set is, as we can see here, in the status of in design. But if I go and I promote this and I release this permission set, now the system goes in and adds this permission for the external user to all the data that I have selected in this special permission set. So now we can see the permission set has been released. This means that when I go in and to the system again as the external user and I press search, now we can see that now I have access to view the ventilator. So if I now search for ventilator, I can see that I have the PB560 ventilator. I can open it. I can see the data here. I can see the bill of material for it. I can see the multi-level bill of material for it. And I can see also the documents related to this ventilator. So now, in a very easy way, we have been able to generate access for the external manufacturer to the entire data set necessary to manufacture this ventilator. As we see from the navigation pane, the external user also have access to an entry here for change management. If I open that, I can see that I have access to engineering change request and problem reports. I do not have access to engineering change orders. But what I can do as an external partner is that I can go in and I can create a new engineering change request. So in this case, maybe I'm, as the external user, I have looked at all this data, and I say now that ready for manufacturing. I have assessed the data that I have received, and the conclusion is that we are ready to start manufacturing of this ventilator. So now, as the external user, I can actually create this engineering change request, and I can also go in and I can relate it to the data that I have access to in the system. This means that I can go in and I can create the ECR and relate it to the ventilator. This means that if I go into the system again as the internal user, and I go to the in basket, so I go to my innovator, I go to my in basket, and I search here, I will see that I have this engineering change request where I have received that from the external user, where they state we are ready to start manufacturing. So now, as the internal process starts, we can go through this internal process and create an ECO to move this into manufacturing. So the ECR has now been completed, and what we have done is that we have created an ECO for the release of this ventilator for manufacturing. So you can see in the impact matrix, we have our ventilator here. We are going to release that for volume production. And at the same time, we're going to release the underlying material for it. Of course, the ECR that was created by the external partner has been related to the ECO. And we can see that the ECR is here. It's ready for manufacturing was the title, and that is released. So we are ready to do this. We have added the external user as an external partner on this ECO. And the reason for this is that we want to have the external partner approving that they are ready to start the actual manufacturing of this ventilator before we actually release the ECO. So if we take a look at the workflow for this ECO, we can see that we are now pending the partner approval. That is the last step of this ECO. We have gone through everything internally. We've gone to the internal review, the board review, and now we are awaiting the approval of the partner. So what I will do now is that I will go into the system as the external user again. And as we can see in the in basket for the external user, we now have this workflow task to complete this ECO. So I click on the ECO as the external user. I go to the sign-off tab. On the sign-off tab, I can see the complete sign-off history for this ECO. So I can see that all the internal steps has been completed. They have been approved. And the final sign-off is now this partner approval. So I will go in and I will approve this, click complete. What happens now is that the ventilator will be released, and it will be released for manufacturing. So if I go back as the external user, I go back here and I look at my ventilator and refresh it, I can see that it's now released, and it's released for volume production. So what we have done now is that first we shared the data from the ventilator with our external partner. Then the external partner generated an ECR to say that we are ready. We have looked through this data and we are ready to start manufacturing. We've gone through the ECR process internally, created an ECO to actually release it for manufacturing. And at the end, we got the partner's approval that they now can start this manufacturing of the ECO. All of this is very important in order to get the full benefit of the PLM system, to be able to collaborate across the supply chain.